All right, 2026. We made it back. Here we are, and the first YouTube channel or video of my channel, which is great. Big changes, um, new format, and new Wes. So some new stuff coming, talking about. Um, Definitely, 2025 was a great year. I loved it. It was I learned a lot and changed my perspective on a lot of things. I've been consulting for the last 2 years now, and back to consulting for 2 years. For being gone for a while, and it just felt good. It felt normal to come back, and surprisingly normal to come back. And I wanted to just kind of think about what I wanted to have happen in this new year and what kind of changes did I want to make to the channel. So my hope is that this is going to kind of be the new format moving forward. I'm just getting used to it myself. But the big thing is I want to be myself. So as I'm being myself, let me reintroduce myself. So this is sort of the new format of the channel, with me being a lot more casual. So as far as reintroducing myself, my name is Wes Chyrchel. I am a fractional COO, and I help you operate better to increase profit. And so the purpose of this channel is to show why operations matter, and to help your business grow and make more money. And so I want to explain, I don't think operations is explained very well. I mean, there's all kinds of people that talk about growth strategies and things like that, but overall a business needs operations. They need processes to grow, and they need a systems in place to help them get things done. And I don't think there's a lot of great information for that. So I wanted to kind of address that with this channel. And so that was my intention from the beginning, and that's what I'm going to be continuing to do a lot more and more focused, I think, this year. And so that's what I'm going to be doing on this channel. So to kind of reintroduce a little bit more about me, let's see. I'm going to say a lot too. This is the new format. We're going to do whatever we want. Super casual, just being Wes. That's it. So let's see. I've been married 28 years. My wife is Courtney. She's awesome. She's actually more cooler than I am. I say it a lot, but it's actually true. I'm kind of boring, but I kind of like boring. But she's a lot more fun, and she knows a lot more about cool stuff, traveling. She knows a lot more about music, stuff like that. I have an awesome daughter, Piper, and she's in college studying to be a mechanical engineer, which is awesome. That's a lot of fun. We kind of talk about cool projects and things like that. I have two rescue dogs, Jack and Jill. You probably see me post on my other channels about that. I think they just turned 3 or 4, maybe 4. I'm trying to lose 20 pounds again. So this is the year I'm going to do it. And mostly just because I want to fit my clothes. I have some cool clothes I like. And also I feel comfortable doing stuff. It's really hard to surf with a belly. So I want to get rid of that. I tend to dress like I'm always camping. I don't know. I thought I was just being efficient. I don't know why, but if you see me around, I mean, I dress nice in clothes, but if you see me in my casual wear, it looks like I'm going camping all the time. So it's a big joke in our family. And I've even said, the ABCs, always be camping, stuff like that. I love camping. I love running, hiking, mountain biking, surfing, paddleboarding, all those things. Building stuff, working on house projects. Love doing all kinds of stuff. That's one of my mantras this year, is to get projects done. I have a lot of projects that I get a lot of stuff done. I like to be productive. I have to. This brain has to be productive. So So I have lots of projects that are in different phases of development, and for one reason or another, they've just, it's evolved, and maybe we weren't sure on a direction. And I mean, talking about mostly about house projects. So stuff like that, I want to get done. So I have a lot of personal, business, and fun projects I'm working on. I want to get done this year. Let's see. I've been in the tech industry for 28 years, and I recently came back to consulting and I've been back consulting for 2 years. So that's been good because it's been a really good, it was a nice hiatus from consulting, and it was great to come back. And over the last 2 years, just as I've been back to consulting, just kind of figuring out what people want, what do they need, and what's going to help them grow their business. And so that's been a kind of a funky trajectory, kind of like up and down. And then let's see, I'm a fractional COO. So, I have a strong opinion about, there's lots of people that say they have growth strategies for business and their business, but I don't know if they have that much experience in business, and so being an actual COO, where I was a COO at a company, and then coming and continuing that and becoming a fractional COO, I thought that makes a lot of sense. And so I do have a problem with people that don't have a lot of business experience, or they say they read a lot of books. But to me, it's like, if you're out there doing it and you've done it and you've grown a company and then you've sold a company, and being parts of those businesses to help them grow throughout the years, and having a seat at the table, I think that stands for a lot. I think there's a lot of difference between theory and actual practice. And so it's I like that. I feel good that I've had that experience, and I feel good that I can say that I've done that, and I think that makes me more credible than a lot of people that don't have that experience. So but I'm proud of that. I've done that stuff. So what are the big changes? The big changes, I'm going to focus just on these kind of 5 core areas. So business structure. So basically just how your business is structured. Are you departmentalized? Do you actually have a operational structure for your business? Do you have an org chart? Not every business needs that, but you need to know who to go to, and you need to know what departments do what and who gets stuff done, and that goes into roles, and we'll get to that in a second. Processes and SOPs. I think that's another category we're going to be focusing on. Just really making sure that businesses understand how to get stuff done. So getting all that information out of people's heads and into systems so nothing keeps breaking. A lot of times you'll see businesses, they'll grow so fast, and they get, all of a sudden they're growing fast, and it's like, oh, they give it to this person, give it to this person, give it to this person, give it to that person. Then you have one person on the team that gets overwhelmed because they get all the work. Happens all the time. Or you have one person that just does all the work, and then no one else knows what anyone else is doing. And so it's so much better when you have a structure and you have roles defined. So those are the areas that I'm going to be focused on. So roles and accountability, just really making sure that you have the right people in the right roles, and that there is a distinct handoff between each role and things like that. Numbers and visibility. I think, goals and KPIs, it's such a big deal. I used to start a lot with those, but then I found that it didn't help businesses who just weren't structured correctly. You can't reach those goals and those KPIs if you don't have a good team in place, or you don't have any processes in place. It's just kind of silly. So I do think goal frameworks are fantastic, but they're much harder to get to when you create those, when you don't have a really good foundation and a structure and a roadmap on how to get there or how to even reach those goals. So I think those are really important. Owner leadership. I work with a lot of CEOs and business owners, and there's many different types of CEOs and business owners. So of course they're going to start off knowing how to do everything. But then what ends up happening as the business grows, you just see people that either they're micromanagers or they just get frustrated and they're constantly, interfering in the jobs of people that they hired to do the job that they want them to do. So what ends up happening is these organizations start to erode because the CEO, the business owner, can't fully trust the people that they have in that role. And that's usually due to that, that role isn't defined well enough. They don't have really good training. The CEO doesn't really know or what they want to do or where they should focus. So that happens a lot. Pretty much every organization at different stages of an organization. So I want to do that. I want to talk more about how business owners and CEOs should focus on the areas that they want to focus on. So the bottom line of those categories, so just for repeat, business structure, processes and SOPs, roles and accountability, numbers and visibility, and owner leadership. So those are, and it sounds very formal, but you could just say, hey, we're going to focus on numbers, we're going to focus on leadership, we're going to focus on roles, processes, and business structure. So if that's helps you out. So the bottom line is I want to take the stigma out of operations a little bit better. I think that there's a lot of people that like to shoot from the hip. You'll see a lot of business owners or CEOs who like to do that. They think that that's cool. They like that because they feel that if there's operations that kind of limits them or corrals them or doesn't give them the freedom to make decisions on the fly. And that's not true. They can do all those things. I think that what ends up happening is that I think that they're not restricted. I think it's just more of the CEOs need to focus on what they need to focus on, and they need to decide what they want to focus on. And so I try to help CEOs with that as well. And part of that is just getting people in the right spots and good training so that they can do their job, so the CEO doesn't have to worry about them anymore. So I'll talk more about that stuff too. So as far as the new format goes, this was a hard one because, everyone says to be authentic, and it was interesting. I think of like that, if you look at any of my old videos, I've been multiple personalities, and but I'm a different person for different parts of my life. And so we all do that, and I think that when someone says be authentic, I look at it and go, well, which version of myself do you want to talk to, or should I show? Because, if I'm mountain biking, I'm mountain biking Wes, just like Barbie's, right? The Barbie, adventure Barbie, or that might be a little weird that I was saying it like that. But I think to me, it's like I can be mountain biking Wes, I can be camping Wes, I can be business Wes. And so trying to figure out that version of me to talk to the camera and have that conversation with the camera seemed kind of hard at first. I thought I had to be a certain way. Do I use music? Do I just talk? Do I, what kind of background do I have? How many lights do I need to have? What kind of cameras do I need? And it gets overwhelming and distracting. And you hear a lot about this when people are doing YouTube channels and things like that. It's easy to get caught up in all the gear and all the things you're supposed to do, and it literally does create a situation where you're paralysis by analysis. Is that what it is? Yeah. And then you don't do anything, or you do it wrong, and then it just doesn't seem right or seems off. And so I think that's what ends up happening is that's why I've had some breaks along the way where I kind of slow down and, that didn't sound right, or that didn't feel right, or that didn't feel like me. And then I think it hit me the other day was, I was thinking about, I just need to start talking the way I talk to my friends and family like I would have if I was having a conversation with them. And that's what people like. And I have long conversations with people that way. My wife has always joked that's why she brings me to parties, because I can talk your ear off. And I tell a lot of people that fair warning, I'm going to talk your ear off. And but I think that's the way I feel comfortable, and that's the way I can talk. I don't want a lot of structure. I don't want it to be that I like hi and fake. And I don't necessarily think it was fake before. I think I was just trying to create a very business persona, Wes, and that's who I was. And I think what I want to do is just part of me wanting to take the stigma out of operations and make it easier to understand and more relatable is just to be me and how I talk to my clients and how I talk to my friends. Because I think that's the best way to show that operations is essential, and it's really important, and it's nothing to be scared of, and it doesn't have to be complicated. And so that's kind of what I want to do. And I don't want to be weird. I want to be myself. I'm actually I love humor. I love intelligent, clever humor. I just think that's the funniest thing in the world. So I want to tell stories about things that have happened to me. I want that to be more of the format this year, and just so that people can understand who I am and where I'm coming from, and so that hopefully that'll help them retain operations a little bit better. And so I might. This is how I'm going to be talking to everybody, and this is the set. So I'll be using. I might do some interviews. I don't know. I really enjoy those one-on-one conversations with business owners and things like that. So I might do some of that, but we'll see how it goes. This will probably be the most of it. I might change things around, lighting, or, where I am or how I look, or hopefully thinner, and then, but I want to keep it casual. I'm not going to try to be someone I'm not. And I do hope I get better, and I do hope I sound better. And I don't care if I say and ah. I think I just want to be realistic. So, cause that's the way I talk to my clients, and that helps. So anyway, I thank you for watching this video. Thank you for following my channel. I really am excited about jumping back into this new format this year. I think this will help a lot of people, because I want businesses to understand and get organized, because this last year, I've seen a lot of businesses that are struggling operationally, and they just need help. And maybe this can help them get a little bit farther and get a little bit more organized. And I can help address some of those topics that they either didn't want to take on or didn't know how to take on. And this can kind of help them, give them some inspiration or some guidance on how to move forward. So I hope you please keep coming back. I guarantee you it's going to be better. It's going to be a great year. I'm excited for what this 2026 brings, and we're going to have a lot of fun together. So thank you.